Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, and I want to give my commentary on the trailer for the season 10 of Love and Marriage Huntsville that has come out today on the blogs. And certainly it's giving, pieces of a storyline still, although it looks like one person, she will be trying to almost try to get the Scots women to talk. And I have a feeling that some of the negative energy that Melody used to get, a fraction of it is going to be transferred onto her. Now, before we get into it all, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this trailer is allowed. I had to do still shots from the trailer and we'll just hear the audio because the last video that I made a couple of hours ago, OWN did not like it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the trailer and then I will come back with my commentary.
Okay, so who do you think is wrong between Marques and Marcel?
They're both wrong. We can be at the point right now where you saying you're not going to do anything, just don't do anything to me. Marcel said don't do anything to him. Whoever does the next thing, they're the ones who started it.
I first heard that Lance had a baby on the internet. Why didn't you tell me before you posted it on the internet?
Mic check 1, 2.
Thank y'all so much for coming to our Back to the 80s jam. We want to see some moves on the dance floor, okay? She got herself upset with me. Who? Miss Nails. Sometimes you two are not trusting.
You think that our husband's cheating and we don't want to talk about it?
The divorce, right? I called the courthouse. They said we wait for a court date because obviously you put on there said we had no minor children.
Bro, that's a lie. Bro, we can prove it. Right here, bro.
Bro, yeah, I'm
Get out. Get out.
Bro. It's gonna be bad.
Get out.
Love and Marriage Huntsville. New season. Saturday, July 19th, 8/7 Central.
Okay, so who do you think is wrong between Marques and Marcel?
They're both wrong. We can be at the point right now where you saying you're not going to do anything, just don't do anything to me. Marcel said don't do anything to him. Whoever does the next thing, they're the ones who started it.
I first heard that Lance had a baby on the internet. Why didn't you tell me before you posted it on the internet?
Mic check 1, 2.
Thank y'all so much for coming to our Back to the 80s jam. We want to see some moves on the dance floor, okay? She got herself upset with me. Who? Miss Nails. Sometimes you two are not trusting.
You think that our husband's cheating and we don't want to talk about it?
The divorce, right? I called the courthouse. They said we wait for a court date because obviously you put on there said we had no minor children.
Bro, that's a lie. Bro, we can prove it. Right here, bro.
Bro, yeah,
Get out. Get out.
Bro. It's gonna be bad.
Get out.
Love and Marriage Huntsville. New season. Saturday, July 19th, 8/7 Central.
Okay, so who do you think is wrong between?
So that is the trailer. You all know I like to play it a couple of times so that you all can really process what it's giving. So it opens up with the Fletchers, Chris and Nell is acting Chris. Who do you think was wrong? Martel or Marceau, and Chris says they're both wrong. So again, Chris and Nell Fletcher, they are still unable to keep it real with Martel and let him know when he's wrong. They do not want to deal with his wrath, or perhaps they do not want to deal with him revealing their personal business. So it seems like the cast will still be tiptoeing and walking on eggshells around Martel, although he's already disrespected them, and they still, will give him a pass and treat him like he's a kid. The last season, we saw Martel in his confessional saying, I don't want to go to a 60-year-old's birthday party anyway, when Nell told him, I invited Melody, so you're not invited. And they're still tiptoeing around. And he called her a side chick. In the picture in the top left corner, Marques is talking to the men and he's saying, so Martel is saying he won't do any more to you. Marceau is saying he won't do anything else. The next person who does something, they're the ones who has started it. That's kind of silly to say the next person who does something. And I really want to know, are they even going to really dig deep on the ghetto interview that Martel and Coleslaw did with Marceau's alleged mistress? Will Tisha and Marceau react to it in a meaningful way, or will they just say, oh, that's just silly, we're not even going to entertain it? Is Marceau going to say, I know this girl, or I've never met her in my life? Is it going to be a concrete reaction? And the fact that Marceau is even sitting that close to Martell after that interview, I'm like, this is such a joke. It's giving scripted reality. And then we're going to see a sit down between Destiny and Lance, where Destiny is saying that, she found out about the baby on the internet. And then she's asking him, why didn't you tell me? We all know that she was in the comment section of a very popular content creator who was saying he had a baby. He's on a popular reality TV show. It made sense to cover the story. And then it was like, well, is he finally divorced? Is he still married? Has Destiny been dating a married man? And Destiny got mad, but really that was misguided anger, because she should have been mad at her fake boyfriend, Lance, for not giving her the heads up that he had a baby on the way. I never felt like it was real on Destiny's end. I actually think that Lance was open to getting to know Destiny. And I think that it was more sincere on his end. And at some point, he realized that he was just being used for a storyline. And then next thing you know, by the reunion, Nell Fletcher is irritated with Destiny. And I think it's because she thinks, oh, she was just using my son. So I am actually inclined to believe that this so-called season 10, I think for me, I call it season 8. The melee at the relaunch of Madani was season 5. Then after that was season 6. This past season for me was season 7. And now this is season 8. But OWN calls it season 10, whatever. I feel like this current season 10 will be where a lot of the women are anti-Nell Fletcher. Will Nell get that same amount of negative, bullying, disrespectful energy that they gave Melody Cherie for season after season? No. But Nell will get a piece of it. She'll get a remnant, a fraction of it. Because we're going to see, I have a feeling that the tension between Nell and Destiny will continue over into season 10. Plus, there will be a scene, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, where Tisha and Kimmy are wearing cowboy boots. They are looking at Nell Fletcher, and she said to them in the trailer, the two of you are not always transparent. And Kimmy responds with, do you think our husbands are cheating and we don't want to talk about it? I am curious to see if that is Kimmy's direct response to Nell saying the two of you are not always transparent, or if that was edited to be a reaction to what she said. I feel like it's annoying because Melody is no longer on the show, and they took her through so much. Hence, they took her supporters through so much for so many seasons, that now that she's gone, now someone else wants to say, oh, you all are not always transparent. But when the pro Melody Cherie bloggers, the Millimeter bloggers, Melody's support base, and the bloggers were saying they give fake storyline, they do not come with the real, then it's, oh, they're deplorable, they're like 45/47 supporters, and all of these horrible things. But now that Melody is off the show, you're actually going to have another cast member say that they are not always transparent, the Scott's women. So it's just so annoying. It's like microaggressions or some sort of like mind manipulation. But that is what Nell Fletcher will be giving. So I feel like she is going to get some of that negative energy, and her family, they are a couple of the people's storylines. So the picture that's in the middle to the left, it's Kimmy and Destiny. They are at the infamous event that Wanda was throwing for her food truck, that the blogger Anthony Wanda invited him to it, but production, they did not like that. And it was a whole entire issue. That is the event. And there Tisha is saying that Nell is mad at her. So Nell Fletcher will be Tisha's storyline, part of Kimmy's storyline. And then Nell Fletcher's son, Lance, will be Destiny's storyline. And when you see the picture in the middle to the right of Tisha on a stage holding a microphone, that is her and Marceau hosting like an 80s dance party. That was included in the trailer. And these still shots in the trailer are coming from the Jasmine brand over on Instagram. So you can see it in moving form, moving pictures. But in the trailer, I felt like, why are we just seeing a single event of Marceau and Tisha, and it's an 80s dance party? Where is their storyline? They seem to have dodged it season after season. It's like they coast, and they are given permission to coast. And the irony is, in January, when Tisha and Marceau went live on Instagram, Tisha said, we're going to start filming next week. We're tired of, like, I'm paraphrasing, the fake storylines. That was when Marceau said that the producers do not really follow the reality. They just look on social media and see what the cast is posting there. And then remember, Tisha tried to cover it up like, no, we're not complaining about production. We love production. But when they went live, she said that they were in counseling and that we were going to see that on the show. So why would the trailer omit that and just show them hosting an event? The trailer, it looked like it was like just 1 minute. And I know they can't fit everything in the trailer, but it's just the coasting that just looks pathetic. And then the trailer ended. If you look at the lower right picture, you see Marques and people are holding back Ken, because Marques said, the court, they're waiting on a hearing date because apparently you indicated on the divorce papers that we do not have any minor children. And they accuse Marques of lying, and Ken gets angry and stands up, and he's looking like he's going to attack Marques. Be sure to check out Queen Sheba's interviews with Marques. It was very detailed. She did an excellent job. He is definitely an open book. And he talks about some of the events that led to him being let go from the show, unfortunately. The production of Love and Marriage Huntsville, they took issue with some text messages being released, and perhaps they felt like his behavior or state of mind may have been up for questioning. So that was a part of the trailer. I guess, a own reality TV show and a Kingdom Reign production would not be complete without some sort of melee. We had the one for season 5 at the relaunch of Madani. Then there was a melee on Bell Collective. And now here's another one for LAMH. So that rounded out the end of the trailer. But if you have watched it on Jasmine Brand, I'm sure it's on OWN TV's Instagram page, as well as the Love and Marriage Huntsville Instagram page. What do you think of it in the comments? Do you think that Marceau and Tisha will speak in a meaningful way about Martell and Coleslaw's interview with the alleged mistress? And what do you think about Nell Fletcher asking Kimmy and Tisha, or she says to them, she makes a statement, you two are not always transparent. And Kimmy says, do you think our husbands are cheating and we do not want to talk about it? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you all had a wonderful Wednesday. I cannot complain. It definitely rained here, but it's still the beginning of the summer. We still have a few more months of hot weather, so I'm definitely not tripping about it, but I did have a good day and I cannot complain. So I will talk with you all soon. Bye.